All right, on Blitz, we have Tommy Yancey, head coach of the Habersham Central Raiders. Coach, always appreciate getting to talk to you about your team, and thank you so much.
Anytime, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, this team is just one for the record books. I mean, this season to date, as we're recording this, 21-3 overall, 11-1 in region play. You've been ranked as high as number 2 or 3 in the state. How important was it for this team to get out to a hot start and maintain that consistency throughout the second half?
I think it's always important if you can get off to a hot start. Confidence creates more confidence. It's just like a weird kind of thing that happens sometimes. And yeah, we were able to come out, get on a roll early, knocked off a couple of ranked teams early on in the season, gave them a lot of boost to what they were doing. And anytime you get that, it just kind of helps to kind of flow into practice and everybody's starting to buy in a little bit more.
Yeah, I love what you said there too. Like the big wins, you had one over North Oconee, you had Winder, South Atlanta was state ranked. I think you may have had another one or two top 10 wins in there. How do you feel as a coach that makes you kind of ready for those big games down the stretch?
That's one of the reasons we schedule. We tried to schedule a little bit harder this year. I think we ended up playing 8 ranked teams throughout the season. And it was one of those things where we knew we were going to be challenged at different times in the year. So we wanted to go ahead and try to iron sharpens iron kind of theory and get out there and do as best we could to try to find as best competition as we could early in the season. Getting ready for what's about to be coming up, I suppose, would be the best way to say it.
Yeah, absolutely. We're right there on the cusp of the playoffs. This lineup, unbelievable. So just listing out the names, Enzo Combs, JoJo McCurry, both 1,000-point scorers. You got Justice Gober, Judge Will Banks. You got Jake Mihalik, Jalen Davis. The list goes on. As a coach, what's it like having such a lineup that's talented, and at any moment it seems like anybody can take over scoring?
Yeah, I mean we've had 5 different guys to lead us in a game in scoring this year. We have 6 guys that average somewhere between 6.5 and 20 points a game. It's special when you have that going on and that the guys aren't selfish. I mean, Enzo leads us in scoring, but if you come to games and watch it, he normally lets the game come to him and gets everybody else involved early. To a point where, I mean, there's been many conversations with JoJo about, hey, Joe, quit passing the ball. I get you're trying to get everybody involved, but just go ahead and score down there. We'll worry about that later. They're just an unselfish group. They've been playing with each other a long time. They've known each other since they were basically born and going to preschool. And so they really like to see each other succeed. It's one of those things that's rare sometimes in today's sports, but they do. They play for each other a lot of the time, and they get as excited about each other doing something well as they do themselves a lot of the time.
Yeah, and I feel like stuff like that, the unselfishness, is sometimes the persona of the coach that rubs off on them too. So I know that's something that is part of your mindset and philosophy. But what's been one of the, or maybe some of the central messages or themes or slogans you've had for the team this year?
We say it and they get tired of hearing it. It's even on one of our shirts. It's just play hard, play smart, and play together. If you do those 3 things, and we have definitions attached to each of those. A lot of coaches say play hard, but we try to really break it down to the guys of what that actually means. It's diving on the floor. It's sprinting the court every time. It's making sure you hit and then go get. Don't just run to go rebound. Those are the things that make up playing hard. Playing smart, knowing your offense. You got to know those things. And then getting into playing together, it's always the best play isn't a pass. Sometimes you got to know what the best play is for the group at the time. And if it's your time to shoot, you got to be ready to shoot. And if it's your time to pass, you need to be ready to pass.
That's awesome. So I know some of the things are obvious, but what are the team goals? Like going back, if you hit rewind and at the end of last season, coming into this year, what were the team goals that y'all set out to accomplish? And I know a region title is part of that. What would that mean to accomplish something like that here at Habersham for the first time?
It would just be something that hadn't been done. It's a program that for a long time didn't experience a lot of winning. And that was one of our big goals coming in here is we tell people all the time that we're going to do a lot more than just basketball, but I fully understand, having done this 18 years now, that if you're not having success, you're not going to have the ear of those players. So winning's something that we have put a premium on because we do feel that good people make good players, and we want them to be good people. So we had to do a lot of things of just kind of talking to them and building character, but we had a realization and understanding that it helps to win games. The teenagers are going to buy in a lot more if you win, and so we have put a lot on to trying to win and trying to win on a big level, trying to get some things done here that maybe had never been done. I don't think we've ever won a state tournament game. That was a goal of ours. We want to win 2 state tournament games at least this year. We had a region championship as a goal. Another goal they set, they didn't want to lose a game at home this year, and so far they've been able to pull that off. Just a lot of those things that these guys have really started to, with the winning, they started to kind of expect things of themselves, and sometimes even had to tamp down some of their goals when it was just like, oh, we're not going to shoot 100% every game, so we got to make realistic goals of what we can actually accomplish. But no, it's they've been setting goals. They set goals each game. You can see them on the board behind you. We have goals for each game, and we mark them off and see how we did each time through every game that we play. And so far, these guys have been pretty good at reaching their goals that they set for themselves.
Yeah, a team that's dangerous is one that plays for each other, and you've mentioned that, and then also, almost like pulling from past experiences too. And one of the things your guys have talked about here on Blitz is the bad taste in their mouth from the early exit last year in the playoffs. How much does something like that turn into a good thing where it fuels what we're seeing this year?
It gives them that extra little bit of a chip. We talk about that a lot with the guys, that in order to be great at any kind of a team sport or competitive endeavor, you've got to have a little bit of a chip on your shoulder that there's something that's making you drive yourself and something that's kind of behind you pushing. And I believe that has been something for them. We've been bounced in the first round of the state tournament the last 2 years, and I think that is something that they want to prove that that's not who they are, that they're somebody that can make a run deep into the state tournament. So it's been something they've talked about. And again, it's something that at times we have to kind of tamp down. Like, guys, we got a game tomorrow. Let's focus on that and not worry about the big picture right now. But these guys really do. They want to prove that they're really good at what they do. They take a lot of pride in it, and they do want to prove that.
Well, Coach, enjoy covering your team. Feel like you got a great recipe in place for doing something special here in the next several weeks. But thank you so much for your time on Blitz.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for everything y'all do.